Hello, everyone. Welcome back to a new episode of It's a Progressive World, a lighthearted show about everything and nothing. As always, you can find timestamps down below, and please like and subscribe. Alrighty, Sam. So, what do we have for today? We have this fun university, a university kind of video that we'll watch. That's gonna be fun.
Universities come here. Who's gonna save them? Who's gonna burn them? Who's gonna save them? These are the questions we'll be answering. I mean, we will not be answering.
No, we'll be watching.
We'll be
I didn't
watching a
even
video
realize.
that answers that.
Look at what it's
Uh,
called. Emergency debate. Is the
yeah,
university
didn't you
doomed? Damn.
see
No, I.
emergency? Yeah, universities are doomed, come here. So we'll be
Damn.
watching some of this
Unheard.
uh some of this emergency. To be honest, we should have really held Camille we should have really had an emergency episode to watch this emergency debate. We are really, being slackers. But besides
Oh,
watching
really didn't do
some of
well.
this video, didn't it? I'm
I'm surprised
surprised.
we only did 55. When I saw it though, I knew immediately it was gonna be fun. Like I clicked on it very quickly. I'm surprised it didn't get more
I,
views.
to be honest, I saw it and I refused
Oh,
because I
really?
was like, I don't want to do this because of the people involved. I could have guessed where the discussion would go like beforehand.
Yeah. Okay,
So
we'll come
I
back to
feel,
this.
but yeah, we'll come
Very,
back to this. It was fun though. I'm
yeah.
not saying it wasn't fun. It's just tragically fun. But then we have a couple of updates on, of course, Camille goes to the biggest and most important update about Cornel West and RFK Jr. I'm not going to spoil anything, guys. So we'll get to that. But some updates about American politics, US politics, Trump and Biden both winning in New Hampshire, winning against all odds, it seems. That's happening. Israeli destruction of Gaza continues, and ICJ recently, like yesterday, they had a ruling on it. So we're gonna discuss that a little and some developments in the region. There was an attack on a ship and all that. And
Yeah, actually, I don't know what
yeah,
happened with this. This is the South African case or whatnot.
yes. Well, basically,
You'll tell
I
me, I
mean,
guess, in a bit.
yeah, I'll tell you in details, but basically South Africa won, but not fully.
Okay.
Basically, Norm Finkelstein was right as always.
Oh, really? Oh, that's not surprising.
Yeah,
The
because he
man
went on
himself
Katie.
single-handedly saving alternative media. Next, apparently, he's gonna go
Yeah,
save
yeah.
mainstream media, even CNN.
Converting people to the Palestinian cause. Piers Morgan is, yes, I am wearing the Shafia now. Since my discussion with Norman Finkelstein, I have this infitada. We are doing infitada. Piers Morgan is, yeah, he's like, I don't know what's going on. Norman Finkelstein. I feel like he's like at age, how old is he? 60, 70? I don't know.
Yeah.
But he's like having a sort of renaissance. He's
Yeah.
having it's amazing. But yeah, I think he pretty much, if I'm not mistaken, people can correct me, but if I'm not mistaken, on Katie Halper show they had it, and Katie Halper, by the way, is capitalizing
Oh
on
yeah.
this.
Actually, we
Yeah,
need to book
she's like,
guests anymore. So okay,
yeah.
Norman Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays.
Norm, every day this week. Okay, how much? Just tell me how much. I'm paying Norm. I'm sending a blank check, Norm. Every day. Write the number yourself. It doesn't matter. The views cover.
Oh my God.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
that's
and she's chopping up the video as well too. So I just like every
oh,
day
is
there's
she?
a new little clip.
Oh, yeah, she's probably
No,
hired
yeah,
executive
Norman
producer.
Finkelstein chokes
Her,
out idea.
I
The titles are always
yeah,
like
yeah.
Norman Finkelstein like cuts Obama's
Destroy.
throat.
Norman Finkelstein point blank shoots at the Israeli commentator.
Norgan strangles his commentator.
Norman Finkelstein with his foot puts his foot in the mouth, literally, not joking. It is, but yeah, I'm pretty sure he predicted it to the point on the Katie Halper show where they discuss the Katie Halper show is like, do you remember match of the day like type program for
Yeah,
us
yeah, yeah.
kind of
For
like
football or something.
so all right, yeah, exactly, for ICG post game. I think they had a post game show too. I haven't seen it, but it's like, so post game, how was it? I think the judges were, they represented their side very well. The judges were doing their best. I don't know about the Israeli side. They were lacking. They were, they weren't showing the spirit. Yeah, it's
Oh,
good.
that's
It's all
funny.
good.
But yeah, and yeah, what else? I see there's a
Oh, there is a tiny Iranian story which I
oh,
think I thought was funny, so I added that. Oh, and I thought Andrew Yang. I know you love Andrew Yang,
yeah.
so I thought you
Yeah,
want to see
definitely
his
see what he's
face.
about. And I also
Uh,
put this back in the lineup. Maybe we'll see a bit. But yeah, this debate that Glenn had
oh yeah,
with
I forgot about that.
Destiny
Yeah.
and wait, wasn't there
The Alex Jones,
Alex
like
Jones? Where did he
he
go?
comes at some point, he comes in or he gets kicked out. I'm
Oh,
guessing at some point either he
and
gets kicked out.
and they went to the past to
Yeah.
conduct this interview, right? Like this thing. Like, is this this set is just so, 25 years ago.
I feel like past and the future because I feel this type of thing is making a comeback,
Yeah, it is
no?
making a comeback though. You are right. Who else? I
I
mean,
feel Glenn himself is
Glenn
one of those.
himself kind of
Yeah, one of
switched a
them.
little bit back to it. I'm trying to think of someone big. But I mean,
The Cat
yeah.
Williams show, the one that Cat Williams was
Oh, I
on. That
haven't seen that. Yeah, that's true. I prefer Breaking Points though. It's a bit more today.
I love the original Breaking Point setup, brick and mortar, but apparently nobody likes that. So
Yeah,
I
that's
don't know.
true. They
This one
switched.
is too busy. Glenn one is quite okay. If you're gonna do this, I think Glenn one minimal. Go minimal
Yeah.
as much. This is way too busy. It's like the busiest city. What is that
Yeah, I
city
don't know why
name?
they had to put a city here too. Like why
Oh
here?
yeah,
That
that's
makes no
why. Yeah,
sense.
yeah, that's like
Why? Like, okay, here, fine, it's your back, but here,
yeah,
what role is
like
the
a
city
tiny
playing?
city. We have
It's
a
like a
tiny city in our
sponsorship.
table. We have
This is the
imprisoned the
favorite
city.
city. You have to put it everywhere.
Uh, no, I think that's an actual city there. But yeah, it's man, this I mean, I didn't even want to click on the link to the actual debate
Yeah, no,
because I
no.
was like, I'm pretty sure this is gonna break the algorithm on my YouTube because it's got like Destiny, Alex Jones, Glenn, and yeah, I mean, we're gonna talk about it, but like
Yeah,
who put and Cranstein brothers, whoever they are they
jeez,
like?
I don't
Do you
know
think
them.
I don't have a brother, but I would hope if I showed up with my brother somewhere, I would get introduced as an individual, like Sam and his brother, not just one of the brothers, one of the duo entered. They lack
That's
individuality.
hilarious. Um, but yeah, I really look forward to this university video debate. What was the topic on it again?
Are they
It's how
doomed?
do you say the
Are they
top? How do you
doomed? That
explain the
end of
topic?
times.
They're pretty much talking about how you can write about anything nowadays. No, you write about
Two
stuff based
things.
on ideology. Go ahead.
They talk about two contradictory things, really.
Oh,
I
nice,
mean,
nice.
not all
Break
of
it
them,
down.
but they're the annoying things, I feel. They talk about the fact that you can't write about anything you want. There is no academic freedom because there is this woke ideology. But then they also talk about how there is not enough academic rigor which allows anybody to publish
Mm.
anything, which kind of contradicts the first one.
No,
But I'm
anybody to
I'm being a bit
publish
facetious.
anything as long as it falls within the dominant ideology.
I guess that would
Yeah.
that would be a more fair way
Yeah,
of
so if you're
putting it.
allowed, so if the dominant ideology is this, anything and anything goes. But if you write something really well, they're saying, or one or two of them really are saying, but it doesn't fall in the right ideology, it's just not going to get published, even though it's a much more rigorous and scientific paper.
Yes, I mean, although yes, the reason why I put
In
it
the
in a
social
more on
sciences, let's also point that out. Let's not
yes,
act like them. They're like four philosophy teachers and they're just talking about the social science kind of world. A
I
lot of people study other things at university,
I
such as engineering and all of that.
To be honest, I think Peter Boghossian might have studied engineering,
No, I
and
mean he
the
represents all.
Oxford.
They presented all four as philosophers.
Did they?
Yeah.
Peter Boghossian, really? Okay. I
I
mean,
mean,
yeah,
we'll go
sure.
back to the
Okay.
video. We'll
Yes,
hear it here.
yes. I mean,
We're gonna
I
play.
just
Yeah.
remembered I hold philosophers in contempt, so but what's his name? What's the other one? The Oxford guy,
So I
that
mean,
guy
they're gonna introduce.
also, I
He's
think
gonna
he made
introduce
the
them
exact
here.
same point as you did. So, but before that, I would say the reason why I put it in a more uncharitable way than you have, as a contradictory thing, is because I feel like uh, especially like some of them, they've been talking about the whole lack of academic rigor for many years,
Yeah.
for many years. And then this woke thing came along.
Yeah.
And now they're anti-woke, but they're also this academic rigor thing. And they're just sort of putting it
Yeah,
together.
no,
I don't know.
exactly. They're making it seem like, although one of them points this out, they make it seem like the lack of academic rigor in some areas that they're describing is linked or came with the whole woke, quote unquote. I don't know why I'm doing this so
Because
much. Woke, quote unquote, although it did not. This debate goes back decades and have
way,
been pointed
way,
out
way.
for decades. So, yeah, that's definitely
That's
that's one thing that hit me.
I think for especially Peter Boghossian is a complete, in my view, sort of a somebody who's this is a job for him, sort of the media
Yeah, it's
aspect
true.
of going on talking about this stuff, and he's been talking about this whole, I told you, academic thing for many years, and I feel like then this woke thing happened, and now he's tagging that,
Capitalizing
he's
on, yeah.
just, yeah, he's connecting it. It's the
Yeah.
same sort of
So let's
audience for
watch a bit
him.
actually before we talk more and say
Yeah,
more about it.
go.
Should I press play here? So
No,
he's
yeah, and you were 100% right, by the way. He has studied philosophy and all that, so.
yeah.
Exactly these issues. They are all philosophers, as it happens, which we'll probably talk about.
As it happens, you
Or
invited
academic
them.
renegades of some kind. Peter Boghossian was the assistant professor of philosophy at Portland
As it
State
happens, he's my
University
father.
until he was forced out by
So this guy.
campus politics. He's famous, most famous, I should say, for a series of hoax academic papers that he put together with some colleagues, which he submitted to highly prestigious academic peer-reviewed journals, and many of them got published. Titles included Rape Culture and Queer Performativity at the Dog Park, The Conceptual Penis as a Social Construct, and An Ethnography of Breastaurant Masculinity. These all got the thumbs up from the Academy, so he can tell us about that. Welcome, Pete. Kathleen Stock is a former professor of philosophy at the University of Sussex, author of the bestseller Material Girls,
Can you pause?
and most importantly for us, star columnist here at Unheard. She also was pushed out of her position at Sussex in 2021 because of her writing and views on sex and gender.
Yeah.
Just point of interest. I went to Sussex for my bachelor
Mm.
degree. And I was at Sussex. She was there at the same time, I'm pretty sure. And I was at the very beginning of sort of this start of woke, sort of, political sort of languaging stuff becoming
Yeah, it was
more.
really a different era. It was like 10 years ago.
It was the exact beginning of this type of thing.
Not even
That's
10 years ago, 13, 14 years ago.
no, yeah, exactly. It was 2009. I went
Yeah.
there
I would say the
2009.
beginning of it is a bit later, no? Of this latest wave, 2016. If not, you can go
Well, the
further
thing,
back.
that's the thing that because Sussex was, I guess, it
So you
was, I
started
mean,
all
they are
this.
right.
Is
Maybe
that what you're
university.
saying?
No, 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 no. I'm not.
It came,
No,
you're the original
no,
woke.
no. No. That's the funny. I remember. You know what was the big fight back then? Big fight back then was that in 2007, a couple of years before, they had put up Michael Farthing as the head of the university
Who's that?
chancellor, vice chancellor. He's some guy. They put him as vice chancellor, and then he was like kind of right wing, and they had brought these guys from NATO who they brought a guest speaker from NATO and brought some guy who was from King's College who used to teach security studies. They're American guy and all that. And there was a big fight then about like, oh, these guys are infiltrating. So like I can imagine, like, you know, being in university
I see.
atmosphere can be, especially these universities were quite annoying, and you know.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, there are a lot of annoying people at universities. I wouldn't deny that.
No, I mean, I'm being more specific. I'm saying annoying people about, you know, censorship, and we
Yeah.
shouldn't allow. I remember there was massive protest about this NATO guy. The guest speaker shouldn't be allowed.
But I mean, yeah, I mean, but
I don't know. Although at the same time, I mean, I wouldn't still say universities are doomed or anything. I'm just saying there is some pressure in some of them.
yeah, no, that's for sure.
I'm referring to the title. Yeah.
And James Orr is, and this is crucial. He's still got it.
Fired me already.
Assistant Professor of Philosophy of Religion at the University of Cambridge, and that is actually crucial because he is our insider tonight. He is going to report from inside the citadel as to whether the situation can in fact be rescued. So really looking forward to hearing what you have to say. James, I thought the simplest place to start, the rough format, as Flo mentioned, is we'll talk for the first 45 minutes or so. There'll be a getting all of those, what frankly sound like crazy papers published.
Yeah.
What did you learn from it, and how bad is the situation?
Well, the situation is that the peer-reviewed academic literature is corrupt. There's a wide-scale institutional and organizational corruption, and the source of that corruption are there are activist disciplines that are not interested in truth. They're not putting forth ideas that are falsifiable, capable of being shown false, but they want to push a narrative. They want to push ideas about race, gender, sexual orientation, trans status, etc. So tonight we're going to primarily talk about plagiarism. And yes, plagiarism is a kind of fraud, and it's extraordinarily important to talk about. And I predict over the next few months, in fact, I know for a fact over the next few months, you're going to see hundreds, if not thousands, eventually, of dissertations that will be proven to be plagiarized. One of the things that we should also talk about is the source of institutional corruption in which the universities are attempting to hide those dissertations. They're attempting to take off people's names from the diversity, equity, inclusion, so you can't find those dissertations. So that's one problem. So you have the problem of plagiarism, the problem of university administrators knowing that their faculty have plagiarized. So instead of saying, okay, let's hold people accountable, they're hiding the dissertations and they're making it almost impossible to get those. And then the final thing is, what I really don't want to be lost in this conversation tonight is that there are disciplines that are not rigorous, they're not sound, they're putting forth ideological conclusions, and then those conclusions are going on to inform public policy. And so in the conversation tonight,
I 100% agree with that. I definitely think we should abolish all philosophy departments across
But
the
he's not,
board.
that's not what he's saying, though.
No, that's
He's
what
going to
he's
give
saying.
the
He's
example
saying
of what
some
he
there is.
thinks. Yeah.
No, he thinks, yeah, exactly. Like
Like
the
subparts of
subcategory.
sociology. Yeah, subcategories of
Yeah.
sociology he has a problem with. But the funny thing is, he was like, oh, we're going
Man,
to talk
he's
about
such a hack,
plagiarism so much today. They actually don't talk about plagiarism at all. They
that
kind of,
much. No,
yeah.
not really. Yeah, you're 100. No, he's such, I don't know, man. It's as you can see, I don't think the problem they go on to talk about is the problem of the what do they call it? The replicability problem. You know, they can't replicate the studies in social
They say that in
sciences. That has
psychology.
nothing to
Yeah.
do. Yeah, I mean, it's just that has been going on. Like, I think they've known about it since 1980s at least, and it has it's to do with the very epistemology of social science. It has nothing to do with wokeness or there are these ideological activist academics. Oh, god damn.
I don't want that to get lost because plagiarism is just one part of the whole-scale corruption.
What kind of disciplines are you talking about?
Is a general
whole-scale corruption.
Word studies.
What the fuck is this mafia?
Did you hear what he said?
Is a general part of the whole tonight.
What kind of disciplines are you talking about?
Is a general rule anything that ends in the word studies. Black studies, gay studies, women's studies, Chicano studies, Latinx studies, indigenous studies. These are fat studies. These are activist disciplines that promote certain views of reality
Medical studies.
and then go on to inform public policy.
Right. On the topic of plagiarism, just before we move down the line, as it were, you know something about it because that's one of the ways they sort of convicted you, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Tell us
I'm a
about that.
plagiarist. I'm a plagiarist. I have plagiarized. I admitted to plagiarize. I plagiarized Adolf Hitler's Mein Kampf. I
You should
admitted.
probably explain the context.
Okay. So as part of the exposure of academic corruption, we wrote 20 bogus, ridiculous, and quite frankly, vile papers, and we submitted them to a number of journals, the top in their fields. And among the papers is we plagiarized a chapter from Adolf Hitler's Mein Kampf. We had two. One, and we took out Jew, and we put in white male, and then the other one we just rewrote some of the words. And just for the record,
Yeah.
That happened about 2 decades ago. This guy has been living off of this for like 2 decades. I mean, get a fucking job. Seriously,
Well,
get
that
a
is his
real
job. He did.
job.
He has a job.
Oh, being a clown? Okay,
He's
sorry.
in acting. Yeah. Well, hey.
I
What
just
do you
wish
have
he
against-
was openly like called a clown show instead of like and then I plagiarized Hitler. Oh, you're so edgy, man.
Yes.
I don't know what you want to like it's like academic
Yeah,
friend.
but I mean,
I
you know, yeah.
plagiarized Hitler.
But yeah, I mean, some scientific papers are really easy to get into, and like, they'll just the peer review is very, it's not rigorous at all. However, scientific papers scientific journals do have like tiers and reputation and all that. They're not like
Exactly.
some are a bit better. I mean, you have to say. So I mean, yeah, for sure. I mean, based on what I saw, like, yeah. I mean, it's a common thing. They're ranked. And some of the lower ones, the peer review is like, the person that they give the peer review and all that.
Look, man, he's a promoter of conspiracy theories.
Mhm.
You can talk about the fact that, there are different tiers, but there's an epistemological problem, and generally, it's hard to replicate the studies, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
But no, those guys, they are responsible. Kill them, get them. It's just got to... There are these, and then like he has these answers ready, studies, anything that ends with the studies, that's I'm at critical studies, medical studies, anything like that. I'm at.
Switch a bit more. Maybe I'll go forward a bit so
they
it gets
brought me
reading
up
the
on charges of
Wokism.
plagiarism. I completely pled guilty to it,
and there was no race, gender critical beliefs, etc., etc.
I think most people were either neutral or vaguely for me. Like occasionally people would come up and whisper to me, keep going, things like that. But there's a small group of extremely vocal, narcissistic academics who are on social media a lot and at meetings a lot, and there's no disincentive for them to be absolutely vile about me to their students, to colleagues, to administrators, and to whip up student sentiment against me, or there wasn't. And I mean, I think listening to what you've both said, I think the real thing that we need to sever is the link between activism and careerism in universities. It is 100% in your interest, or it was the last time I was in a university, to be an activist, even in the promotion criteria. And I'm talking about the university I was familiar with, but in the promotion criteria, it would say, are you a good ally? You could get points in your promotional case by showing how moral you were and how you thought the right things. And so that obviously that's going to, it's going to deter heterodoxy, because it's going to end up having professional consequences, not just social consequences. And so much of academic progression is based on relying on other people to let you through the gate. If you need your stuff in prestigious journals, you need to get the right sorts of grants, you need to be on the right sorts of committees, so you can't afford to alienate people.
It's kind of funny because you can replace a lot of the thing that they say about universities with like any other kind of area in life.
Anything else.
That kind of pisses me off throughout too.
Yeah, no, it's just because I mean, Yeah.
But yeah, you can't
Although I
present
would
it as that. They're
definitely,
presenting it. Yeah, they're presenting it as if it's very
no,
just unique to the university environment.
exactly. I would say that she's, I think, largely correct,
Yeah,
probably.
she's a nice one. I like her. She's the
Yeah,
middle
she
one, right?
does a
Because
much
the
better.
other guy works at
Yeah,
Cambridge, and the other guy is, of course, the other guy. And
Oxford.
she is like, she was fired for something from university for something she
She
wrote.
kind of was. She put. I don't know if she was pushed out, but she was.
Yeah,
She was fired or she was pushed out. But
but she's
she,
like,
yeah, it's
she's
for
not,
trans stuff.
yeah, but she's not
Yeah.
crazy about it.
No, she's not as bad as with. Definitely doesn't get hysterical like
Yeah.
Peter Boghossian. But I would say in her case, though, just to defend this side now, I never. I mean, like, yeah, this. I do feel like, man, you can talk about a bit of a trans mob, in my view.
I mean, there are mobs around, yeah, all kinds of things, and
No,
definitely
no,
there's,
trans mob, mob.
yeah. I'm saying they're like mobs for a lot of
Oh,
topics and
sorry.
things. But
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. No, there's definitely one for that. And in some places it's more hardcore, although like, yeah,
Okay.
exactly. In
You know,
some
you're right.
places
Yeah.
it's more hardcore. It's not as widespread of a like a
Thing as they.
thing
Yeah,
they
yeah.
make
You're
it
no.
seem sometimes, but
Yeah.
yeah, it definitely is. But throughout this, they also complain about, yeah, there's always like a group of people. It's always like the smaller ones, and they are more vocal. And anyway, first of all, that's always been true, and it's always like that.
About
And
everything.
people are allowed to say things, and if you say something and someone kind of says something back to you, that's okay. We'll see
Yeah.
a question
No.
that happens later. So I mean, you can't be expected to say whatever you want and people don't react. I mean, people will also react, I guess. It just depends what's the reaction. Will it go, yeah, how far it goes.
I do feel like it's hard to uh like if somebody wants you to change the way you talk because of them, and unless you do that, they're gonna react
Yeah,
in a way. I mean, that's just it. Some situations
definitely
things
no.
become untenable, I
Yeah,
think.
that's for
But
sure.
largely, you're right.
Yeah.
Largely.
Let's play a little bit more.
People in those ways if you're young and you want to get on, and that's important.
That's what people mean when they talk about capture, then. That
Yeah.
it's somehow that a group had worked out the mechanics of taking over an institution.
Sort of
like
instinctive. I don't think they actually thought it through very carefully. I think it's just that, I mean, there's many other layers to this which make it very complicated. So one is that a lot of academics are unable to face confrontation and really just want to get on with their 16th century manuscript or whatever and don't want to be on social media. Most academics aren't on social media and they're like, oh, I can't go on there. But that leaves the field free for a few people to be extremely influential. There's also a genuine fear of upsetting students for a number of reasons. One is fees. Like, since the caps came off, all universities are in competition with each other. Some universities are undoubtedly about to go under financially. I'm sure Cambridge and Oxford, different kettle of fish, but in the universities I was familiar with, people were terrified for years. We couldn't even photocopy. There was just budgets being cut all the time. And then there's also a massive spectre of student mental health, because nobody, including in the government, can work out whether we're in loco parentis, whether we're supposed to be looking after anxious students. There's no, as far as I can see, there's no consideration of whether you're fit to study. So you can come with massive mental health problems and just be waved through, and then arrive in the classroom saying, I am too anxious to be asked questions. I can't talk about, I don't want to hear about this very difficult
But is that true, man? That did not
subject.
exist before. I mean, at least in Canada, when I did my uni 10, 12 years ago, that wasn't a thing. Like, students couldn't say to the teacher what they can and cannot hear, or
I've never seen anything like that. But then again, I never had it like a, yeah. I mean, we never had it like a, in a seminar, like, in a university seminar, you are never brought to the front of the class to be asked questions. You know what I mean? It was always like an
yeah.
open discussion. You participate if you want, if you don't, you don't, So there was never, like, I've never heard or seen anything like that. But I don't know. I never did philosophy either, so maybe.
Yeah, maybe maybe philosophy.
I want a trigger warning. And if you're desperate for their fees, you know, there's no incentive to actually manage that situation very well. And there's more and more and more students with severe mental health problems or just diagnosed mental health problems like anxiety and depression, which you might think are
Why are there
normal
more
for
and
students,
more?
but you just can't tell anymore. No one can tell. So
So actually,
that's dissuading heterodoxy and, you know, saying the truth quite often.
that also muddies, because this is sometimes cast as being a kind of right-wing attack on the universities. In fact, Harvard and those institutions now, that's very much the line they're taking, which is this is a conservative conspiracy campaign against us. But in a way, what you're saying is the opposite, that the marketization of universities,
It's
which
made a
is a
massive
conservative
difference.
type of idea, you might think, has kind of backfired.
Well, I completely think that's true. I mean, you just, in my particular area of expertise, which is sex and gender, in the way that HR was just taken over by kite mark schemes and award ceremonies, and every university saying, we want to get into the top 100 Stonewall, and basically, as other people have said, getting Stonewall to mark your homework, handing out your policies to Stonewall, and Stonewall come back and said, no, you've mentioned the word woman here, your changing rooms aren't inclusive, you know, have you considered your teaching material? And in my university, it said in the policy that trans people had to be represented in a positive light or something. That was built into one of our policies. So no other group was
I
treated
believe
like
that about Sussex.
and no one seemed to question it, because the thing is, it appeals, or they think it appeals to students. They think we want to appeal to idealistic young queer people, particularly in Brighton. So let's just go with it, and everybody else is going with it
That's
anyway.
what we
So
want to
who would we need to?
The core
Can't see the
students, what the hell?
The tail wagging the dog.
It's not even, again, it's not that students are demanding this, and a few are, and again, the very same dynamic of a few people being very vocal, universities not having the mechanisms to do proper polling of what students think, so they have, in my view, ridiculous kind of student reps, which again produces a careerist, activist type of student who comes into the meeting with the lecturers and says, we want this, we want that, we want trigger warnings, you know, this person's transphobic, and so on.
Trigger warnings. What the fuck is that?
Yeah, pause. Yeah, look, I think what she's saying is largely true, but like the point you made was so correct, and I think that's the key. Like, isn't that about everything and everywhere? Like, when I did international relations, and after a couple of months of doing international relations, you figure out, oh, there are basically like 10 universities that do this type of topics. Out of those 10, 5 are conservative. Those are the 5s that are conservative. There is 2 that are left-wing. There's 2 that are liberal. Like, that's what and then you understand, oh, like people who are liberal tend to gravitate towards there, people who are conservative gravitate towards there. That type of activity gets rewarded there, that type of activity gets rewarded there. So I mean, I agree with her, and I find the whole trans thing ridiculous and childish, but like, I feel like you can say that was happening in the 90s, but like about not trans, about something other thing, you know?
Yeah.
It's just always there is I mean, I don't know. Am I being too dismissive? I don't know.
No. Okay, let's watch it a little bit more. Maybe let me fast forward a bit somewhere here, see what they're saying, and then let's listen just to questions a bit at the end. They're pretty funny too. So dramatic.
Set up.
Just want to push you a little bit. I know you have to, you know, you are representing Cambridge at this discussion, and I don't expect you to be disproportionately critical of them, but do you think there are issues, serious issues, even in universities like Cambridge, or do you think we're fine?
I think we're in a much better place than, say, Harvard or the big Ivies. I mean, Harvard is really a hedge fund with a university attached. It's got $50 billion under assets. You know, Cambridge's endowment, I think, is about $8 billion. And with that, we still managed to get to pretty much, I think we were, you know, last year top of one of the 2 big university rankings. But we're much more responsive to public criticism, and being poorer, more exposed to legal liability. And will be very interesting to see when the new Freedom of Speech Higher Education Act starts really kicking in August, what effect that's going to have on the intellectual climate within the universities. I mean, I'm quietly hopeful that it will have a meaningful impact. Now,
this guy is a professional, though, I gotta say.
Intelligence is the currency, And so it seems reasonable to expect a certain degree of intelligence, and that is what you are.
Oh, sorry, I was on mute. Okay, sorry. Fast forward a bit to the question part. And actually, I think the first question I really like, I think it's the IQ question, which is so stupid. It was by an anonymous person, I think, online, but I mean, only an anonymous idiot would ask this question. Do you have
Just
anything
so
to
many
say before I
idiotic
play?
questions.
Yeah, okay.
All
Yeah.
questions are great.
Kath, is it all Tony Blair's fault?
It's partly Tony Blair's fault because undoubtedly the introduction of student fees changed everything.
Sorry, wrong question.
It was incrementally
Over
happening anyway
here.
through grants, but
Oh,
that
wasn't
did,
that the first
and then
question?
also deciding that everyone had to go to university, that all the polytechnics had to become universities, that somehow.
That's
So
not
what
sure.
percentage of the population should do a humanities qualification, a degree, a master's, a PhD?
That was a great question. That was the only really, I'm not being sarcastic question.
Qualification, a degree, a master's, a PhD.
Half a
James,
person.
got a number?
Yeah, well,
How many are you letting
probably fewer than 50%. And I mean, we've blamed Tony Blair, but we can't leave out John Major. I mean, it was the Conservatives in the early 90s who abolished that distinction between, you know, universities as a sort of really, you know, a knowledge hub, a theoretical knowledge hub, and the vocational institutions, the polytechnics, that, you know, dealt with service to the other sort of essential kind of function of higher education. So, I mean, the signal of a humanities degree is, as Kathleen said, it's cognitive ability, but it's also conscientiousness. If you know, it's effectively a kind of IQ test getting into a strong university, and then it's a conscientiousness test if you can make it all the way through the degree, and that performs, you know, a valuable role. It signals to the professions that this is a person who's going to, you know, is going to work well in your organisation. But, you know, we've touched on this already. There's serious grade inflation. You know, in degree inflation in 2010, I think it was about 15% of degrees were firsts. It's now, well, just during the pandemic, it was almost 40%. It's gone back down a little bit, but so the, you know, the kind of the credentialing signal is definitely more confounded, and you're also getting an increasingly politicized admissions process. Right. So this is where a lot of universities see themselves as a kind of, you know, as an agent of social engineering. And so you're seeing, for example, this is happening in the Russell Group universities in particular, but quite aggressive affirmative action against the independent sector, for example, or certainly clear double standards. Now, there's good arguments to be made on both sides whether the universities should be doing that. But again, that makes it harder for the professions, as it were, outside to assess the value of the humanities degree. It's much more stable.
So we should be meaner about marking and have fewer people go through the process.
Yeah.
And we've got a related question, actually,
Okay.
just from an anonymous reader online who asks, should employers be allowed to do IQ tests if we no longer can trust the outcome
God
of degrees?
damn.
Well, they
Pause.
do. I mean, this is anecdotal, but I gather that, you know, among the top law firms.
I'm pretty sure Robbie asked that. Robbie Suave. Should the private businesses be allowed to, you know, do a medical check before hiring?
But no, yeah, IQ test, which is the most useless thing ever. Yeah, sure, go IQ test
Go ahead.
people. I don't know what you're gonna get out of it, but
Mm.
that's too
I
funny.
did a. I had to do IQ test for one job, and then
Really?
after that,
I've never in my
said-
life done an IQ test in general. Probably get like a
yeah,
2.
Wow. I mean, I don't know. I wouldn't be so. I wouldn't so low on myself.
Oh, okay, it's just so stupid. Oh, let's see what this guy asks. The camera's in his face.
Info earlier and about activism. We just talked.
Oh,
about
he
free speech
yeah.
as well.
Yeah.
His activism, I think, is necessary. It's unfortunate, but I think it's necessary.
Oh, go back.
Was this a seniors night only? Like, what's going on?
Yeah, I mean, come on. Who do you think pays attention to this bullshit anymore? Like, but go a bit further back. Yeah, no. Go a bit further back. His question is really stupid and funny, I think. But
The
start from
volume's a
beginning.
bit low. I can't hear it too well.
Yeah, the volume is very low. I remember that.
Earlier, and about activism.
Advice there. Let's go maybe on this side.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's have one here and then we'll go over there. We want to be.
Hi there. You talked about Christopher Rufo earlier and about activism.
Oh, Christopher.
You talked about
His
speech
activism.
as well. His activism, I think, is necessary. It's unfortunate, but I think it's necessary. He took over, or helped take over,
Necessary
at
for
Florida
what?
Public University. He under Ron DeSantis, took the board over. He was also responsible for putting an audit of some of the books in some of the schools in Florida as well. These are unfortunate things to have to do, but I think they're necessary. Free Speech Union, again, have been doing audits of libraries in the UK. And for example, Kathleen's book has been sort of put round the back in some of these libraries. So I actually do think that there has to be a case for being active. It's all very well saying free speech this, free speech that, and you guys are incredibly brave, but I think it has to go another step further.
This is really gets Christopher Rufo, who the gentleman is mentioning, is a kind of politically on the right activist in the US, and he's been incredibly successful at attacking institutions that he thinks have been captured by leftists, is how he would put it, using many of their same tools and public shaming and campaigning techniques. Pete, are you a Christopher Rufo fan? Do you think it's a case of if you can't sustain the kind of liberal ideal of neutral
This host is such a fucker. I hate him. But he's so good. He's so good. He should be like, he can probably get like job as like the BBC's main like guy doing what's it called, doing
no, he's too
hard
good
talk.
for it, I think. Yeah, he's
Or wherever
like
he can get the most money.
Man, he's like, he's like the perfect post-apocalyptic talk show host for like whenever we have Hunger Games or whatever is going on, and it's like, oh, so you think you can get food by hitting him? You want to try? Let's try. Maybe you can do it. Anyway, but that guy, man, like, first of all, I don't think he knows what necessary means, because like none of this is necessary, to be honest. Like seriously, we can get rid of the whole
None of this
university
is
system.
neither an
Nobody
emergency
would
nor necessary.
Like none of these words that you're using is appropriate for the situation. That's first of all. It's like Christopher Rufo, the man. By the way, the part that truly signals to you how much bullshit is going on here is the fact that Christopher Rufo, the guy who's so worried about the institutions being captured by the left, by the way, what is he saying about Israeli sort of Israeli lobby capturing pretty much all the mainstream and all side stream and off stream, all of any stream except like the Hill, pretty much they own. So it's just okay, all right, okay. I don't.
Yeah, no, I agree.
The side is thinking in a particular way. Both sides
Water
of the political
is
aisle should engage in this kind of fight.
No, well, full disclosure, Christopher is a friend of mine. I have some disagreements, and I guess this piggybacks off of Kathleen's question. There are entire bodies of literature that are fraudulent. Phrenology is fraudulent. If they taught Nazi race science, that's fraudulent. We wouldn't want that taught. So the question is, in what should we teach these things, and in which context?
And here, I think there's a funny question. I want to see if the guy's being sarcastic or... Oh, where's the funny question? I swear it was here.
Towards the very, very end. Very, very end.
Maybe here.
Here. That's it. Yeah.
These beliefs, these very luxury beliefs, niche beliefs give you, then I just don't feel like that's the most pressing issue.
Okay, we've got a question over here.
Thank you very much. Fascinating discussion. Thank you very much to all the panelists. We have an 18-year-old son who's doing his A-levels in the summer. All being well, he'll head off to do computer studies at university next year. What advice would you give to him? All being well, he'll head off to do computer studies at university next year. What advice would you give to him?
Don't do drugs or don't too much?
Broad question.
cut your relations
Any
with
clues
this man?
What sort
What
of?
direction?
You don't mean in the realm of computer studies?
Oh, he said computer.
How should we have the
better
right panel
qualified
for that?
audiences than this. No, in terms of keeping when all around you are losing their heads, how do you stay sane?
I'll take that. So my advice
Oh, he
would be
takes that.
in a classroom context, he needs to be careful about the opinions he voices. And so
What is
you
this
can
kid saying? I'm just
mediate-
curious what he is assuming this kid.
No,
I don't,
no,
like,
pause.
what
No,
is
no.
this kid going around saying? He's like,
No,
my kid is kind of nuts.
no, I love it. He's like, what should he study for A
No,
level?
he didn't say what he should study.
No, he didn't.
No, you
for
misread
his-
the whole thing.
He said,
what
he said
advice
what he
you
should
have.
do
That's
for
it.
A levels.
No,
Advice?
no. Sam,
Advice, he said?
let's go
I
back.
thought-
He said my son
It's okay. I
is
trust
gonna study communication studies. What
No,
advice do you have?
computer
Computer
studies.
studies. Sorry. Yes, of course. He said my son is going to study computer studies. What advice do you have for him? And of course, that he meant like, to not get in trouble with wokeism. Listen.
Thank you very much. Fascinating discussion. Thank you very much to all the panelists. We have an 18-year-old son who's doing his A-levels in the summer. All being well, he'll head off to do computer studies at university next year. What advice would you give to him?
Sorry. But
Broad question.
pause.
Yeah, they're like,
Let's just.
Any clues to
What sort
I
of?
love how
direction?
Peter
You don't
Boghossian
mean
turns
in
this
the
into
realm
a
of
spy
computer
movie.
studies?
He didn't talk.
How should we have the
Better
right panel
qualified
for that?
audiences than this. No, in terms of keeping when all around you are losing their heads, how do you stay sane?
I'll take that. So my advice would be in a classroom
no nut
context, he needs to be careful about the opinions he voices. And
I
so
see.
you can mediate that to a certain extent by just saying, oh, I think this is a great idea, but what should I say if someone says X and you actually believe X?
man, this kid is taking computer studies. First of all, he's not
Yeah,
taking.
no.
And then, like, what kind of crazy shit is he saying? And second of all, if you say something that's a bit different, right? Which can even be like, back in the day being a bit more, I don't know, whatever, being even leftist or right wing or whatever, you're a bit different than the norm. You can't cry about it if people have a reaction. Now, if they kick you out of school or beat you up, sure. But like, yeah, then if two people say, oh, I don't agree with that, you can't cry about it either. Sometimes
You
people
can
like
cry
this are
about
such.
it. It's just not nice.
But then
Go
you
ahead.
complain about other people crying about it, so you're being a hypocrite. But yeah.
Yeah. And then that's fine too. Go ahead. But
No,
yeah,
no, no,
nobody
no,
will
no.
care. That's the point. Nobody.
I'll come and cut any hypocrite's throat.
Glenn Greenwald and Brianna
True,
Greyjoy
Glenn
will
would
show
bring it.
up.
Oh, Glenn is like the
Yeah.
biggest hypocrisy police. I love it. I love it. He's like,
Yeah.
did you not last week say that? And now you're saying this. Interesting. Okay, I'm gonna
So do
make
you
a
like
show about
rainy
this
weather?
for the next 3 years. I'm just warning you. This is all I'm talking about.
No, but yeah, I don't know what kind of like crazy situation he thinks he's.
Yeah, I know.
son
I'm
is
like,
gonna
what the?
get into a
I'm curious what
computer
his
class.
kid is saying. He's like, yeah,
So listen,
my
in
kid
my
doesn't really
class,
like black people.
anybody expresses any interest in Microsoft, you are out. You are out. I'm
Yeah,
not
maybe his
interested.
son is like an Apple kid. So he's gonna
Anybody-
get into trouble.
He's an Apple sexual or something. I don't.
Jesus Christ, what advice? Yeah, I mean, don't do anything too stupid. Those are the kind of advices, man, that I would
Have
give
fun. I don't
to
know.
someone.
Yeah.
Have fun, but still, don't do something that will ruin your life badly.
Yeah, don't do illegal, or if you do something illegal, do it supervised or something, something like that. Yeah.
That's more kind of advice I'm looking for. It's like in the classroom, think twice before you say bullshit. Okay.
Before
It's actually
yeah,
not
he
bad
turns into a
advice.
spy movie. Like, it's just in the classroom, check behind the door.
Check.
Sometimes there's a ninja behind the door. They put woke people with ninjas there. Like, what- in a ceiling.
Woke
Always
ninjas.
look up. What are you talking about? Computer
I love it. I
science.
love it. Yeah, I know. I like the lady's
Have been
reaction. That's why
infiltrated.
she was more normal than him. She was like, okay, advice about what?
What
But
do you
he got
want?
the
Yeah.
question right away. He's like, no, 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 I know exactly. This guy wants to
I
know
take
how
that.
his son won't
I'll
get
take that.
attacked by the woke mob slash
Yeah.
ninja or
Yeah.
mercenaries or I don't
Yeah.
even know what.
So first of all, always take your own car. The wolves are on the street. Like, what a time. We live in the England, you know. Like, it's-
This guy, instead of warning people about gangs and stuff, he warns people
Yeah.
about.
yeah, about
It's
nerds
too
at like
funny.
Ivy League universities.
Yeah.
Yeah, it reminds me of that scene from what was the, God damn it, the transportation, transportation,
Transformer?
train spotting.
Oh,
No,
train
train spotting.
spot.
Yeah, you remember that song,
Yeah.
that part that he's like, you always say English are wankers. We are the wankers. We got
Yeah.
colonized by a bunch of wankers.
The famous
That
mountain
was-
scene. We're
Yeah.
the low of the low. We're the something like that. He says we're.
Yeah, it's like if you're getting beaten by, as you put it, like bunch of woke, like highly feminized, like maybe like look inwards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But okay. Anything else on this topic?
No, but Unheard, well done to them for putting this together. You know,
Yeah, it wasn't bad.
I mean, it was an emergency, so
It was
somebody had to do something. I'm glad they.
It's the fun. Yeah, I know. It was a
What is it?
fun
Like, I'd like to
emergency.
know what do they mean by emergency?
That's a good question.
Yeah,
It's like that breaking news thing that I showed you a few weeks ago. It
Oh,
was like UK government spending lower than expected in
yeah.
the month of December. Okay, jeez.
The first 2 weeks of the month of December. All right. They just tell you who reads Financial Times or something.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, no way.
I would have
Fuck
never
off.
thought so.
You bullshitting me now.
Let me look at the data myself.
Are
Let
you
me
sure
take a
not
look.
more than expected? That I can understand. Lower? Bullshit. I'm calling bullshit on. Need to see the receipts.
But okay, let's go and come back. Okay, so this wasn't actually had to add this to the lineup, but speaking of wokeism and all that, this reminded me of this. So right now I'm whenever I'm eating, I need to be watching something most of the time. So since the past week, I've been going through an Entourage phase. So watching Entourage
again.
clips
That's like your fourth Entourage phase, I believe.
in the past year. Yeah.
I
and
was
then-
with you in the original phase.
So I just watching some Entourage clips, pretty funny. And then this video
can you
came
watch that?
along. Okay, well, I mean, listen to this. So this video came along, and this video is talking about how HBO is not pushing Entourage, or some say that HBO is not pushing Entourage anymore as like, because recommends things on its
Because it's been
apps.
cancelled
And
for 20
and
years.
no, come on, it went all the way into season 8, and then it's saying, some of the stuff that they say in Entourage, it's really like nowadays it will be really weird. And I mean,
Oh, yeah.
it is true that but it's such a fun show, actually. I love the vibe and the feeling that it gives me. I just love it.
Because you're a toxic male person.
Yeah,
that's
but
it.
not. Hey, they're good guys. They're good guys. I'll defend them.
No, they're
But
not.
yeah, the things that
Even
Ari
then they
says
weren't.
and all that, it's just, hey, that's what it's like in Hollywood, I guess. Okay, you don't like reality, Sam? You don't seek truth. Now that I think about it, I'm on this guy's side. What's his name? I'm friends with him.
I am
Now that I
Christopher
think about
Rufo.
it,
No,
why
I am
didn't
Christopher.
But yeah, but
No, I
even
mean-
oh my god, even this lady who was like a PR
Oh, yeah, she was
agent
another
or
agent.
something, she
Yeah.
just would say the craziest things. It was hilarious.
I mean, the problem, I guess, with Entourage wasn't the fact that they did all that and reflected reality. The problem was that it was also like, no, they do all this, but they're good guys.
They're-
Like, I
There's
know.
nothing wrong with being sexist, okay?
I know he just sexually and verbally and physically assaulted somebody, but deep down he's good. Come on, try. Deep down, Turtle is a good man. We know he, it's unbelievable. It's just there is a whole subplot. I remember that was towards the end. Do you remember that whole subplot with E, where you're supposed to, because E like wants to have sex or with another person, or wants to have a threesome, and then his wife is like, okay, all right, you can have a threesome, but I'll have sex with this girl in front of you. You can watch. And then you're supposed to feel bad for yet
Poor
ah,
E.
poor E. Oh, his
The
bitch
innocent
wife
guy.
didn't let him have threesome with that bitch. She's so stuck up, doesn't let him have
Selfish.
threesome.
Yeah. No, they are a
It's
bit wild in this
unbelievable.
show. They're a bit insane with the things that they say. I mean, it was still at a time when, okay, fine, like you're cool with
It was about a bunch of
with
parasites.
someone being like gay and all this, but you could still make gay jokes as much as you wanted.
Yeah.
So you could no longer hate and
Gays.
discriminate and all that. Sure, and even you'd be cool
You
with
could
gay marriage and all
lightly
this. I mean, this
discriminate.
was the environment, but making fun of them, that's the last thing that you get.
Yeah. We kept that for another decade.
One
We
more,
kept that,
yeah.
guys. Guys,
Enjoy it as much as you can.
you get a 5-year sort of
Yeah.
post legally. Yeah.
And of course, like, and the chicks and all. I mean, I think with the chick stuff that still happened, like, whatever, whether they're what's the word again? When they're like, they're not being misogynist or anything like that. They're kind of what's the word where you're kind of just like using girls kind of. Anyway, all that stuff that they did with girls, I think would still fly in a show.
I mean, they used men exactly the same.
Yeah.
So to be honest, yeah, it's like that's the thing. That's why it's hard to say it was a sexist show or racist show, like, and homophobic show, like, because of the
Yeah.
assistant Ari had, that was a gay sort of
Yeah,
Asian
exactly.
guy.
I mean, the biggest
And
character,
it's like
one of the
and
big characters from like season 4 onwards was.
yeah.
But he could say all the craziest,
I know, no,
gay jokes to him, though.
but the point was like the characters, and I think in real life that's why people are like, in real life, like most of the times when people are like insulting each other, they just go for the lowest blow they can.
Yeah.
And it's not that they're racist. They just like, okay, look at what can I capitalize on right now to make you feel bad? That's
Yeah.
what it is about. So I think that's why it was a bit hard for these days, like people. I haven't heard anybody try to cancel Entourage. I don't know.
Yeah, not
Have you?
cancel Entourage. We're just saying it's not getting put. I mean, there's nothing to cancel. There was a show, movie, it's over. But
Or
it's not
but
being
some,
pushed
like,
to
they
new.
go back and rewrite, like re-edit, censor, I don't know.
Yeah, no,
whatever.
not in that sense. But maybe they're saying they're pushing it to new people. But then again, like you said, it's not like the greatest show of all time anyway. It's not like Sopranos where you're gonna find new fans all the time. However, like, I wonder teenage guys could probably still definitely like it. I mean, those guys are living the dream, right? Because it has nothing to do with the fact that he's an actor. That's like irrelevant. You can that Vince is an actor. You can replace that with any profession. The thing is, it's like 4 high school kids who now have grown up and get to be like rich and have lived like, the fantasy life of a teenager.
Go to a mall.
No, not go to a mall. Like, have a house,
and then,
move to LA in a house and have really nice cars and chicks and pool and drink all day and smoke all day and just do whatever, right?
Mall life.
Huh?
Yeah, mall life. But yeah.
Mall life, mall life is hanging at the mall. This is much better, okay? I lived the mall life. I didn't live this. This is
similar. But no, yeah, you're right. Yeah. It's I mean, you're right. It's if you're so rich that you don't have to work, basically, like.
And you have your high school friends and all that, right? They're like high school friends, right?
Well, yeah, and you're so rich you can pay for them too, I guess.
Yeah,
and they are poor enough and low enough in self-worth to follow you around like a bunch of parasites living off of you without like really. The only worry comes along when he starts cutting them off. They're like, oh no, I have to get a job. Shit.
Yeah. But yeah, good times, man. Getting on Kanye. I remember this one.
But
Just get on Kanye
I've
West's
never.
plane. This episode.
Yeah.
This guy was a crazy director. He was insane.
Oh,
Billy
he was made.
Walsh.
Yeah, he was based on Seth MacFarlane for some fucking reason, and some other people. But you know, he goes on to make a cartoon later on.
Yeah.
Mm. Yeah, I
Exactly.
remember
He
him.
makes
He did a Cuban movie, Colombia.
yeah,
Like
Medellin.
Medellin.
And it turns out being shit. But yeah, then he makes Johnny
Man,
Bananas in this show. I
by
mean,
the
of
way,
course.
you know, like and it's kind of like they were always playing themselves. Like, I think he was exactly right, like exactly the same person in real life. He was like this pretentious guy who thought he could like be some artist or something. You know, he made a movie in real life, and it's like one of the worst movies ever made. Yeah, Gotti. It's like been ranked as like it's got I think 1% on
Oh
Rotten
my God.
Tomatoes. Yeah.
And Ari, of course, the main man of the show, really.
Apparently he's been Me Too'd.
Yeah. Man, but you know who they have in this show, for instance? I mean, you can't show this anymore. They have Weinstein. That's his name, right?
No, they make fun of him though. They have an actor play a character based on him.
It's not actually him?
No, that's not him. Yeah,
Are you
that's
sure?
the actor. Yeah.
What's the guy's name again?
Harvey Weinstein.
Okay.
But put Harvey Weinstein in Entourage, and
Oh
the
yeah,
actor will come.
true. It's not him.
Yeah. No, they make fun of him. That's why it's kind of the whole Me Too was like, yeah, we all know. I mean, it's just
No,
was
he
open
is.
secret.
Hold on, no. Oh yeah, he's not.
No,
Yeah, no, he's a different guy.
Yeah, famous guy. Yeah, he's actually relatively for Entourage was a famous actor, famous character actually. Harvey Weingarten, they changed it to Weingart. You see?
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Anyway.
Okay, yeah. So you see, Entourage is actually very good. I'm gonna write to HBO, and it's been brought to my attention that this
They
show
were
is
ahead
not
of Me
being.
Too.
Yeah,
10
right.
years
Yeah,
before
there
Me
you
Too.
go. Exactly, actually.
But has Turtle or his brother ever done any other movie or any other? Like Entourage seems like really real life. Like these people never worked ever again, it seems.
Yeah, actually, some of them are in other businesses, I think, like other things.
Oh, really? Okay.
I mean, okay, he was, of course, he actually
Yeah, he
played
was a
himself.
shitty. Yeah, he's a shitty.
He's the brother of a more famous actor.
Is he Wahlberg?
No, his brother is.
Baldwin? Dylan. He's a Dylan. Yeah. I think.
Yeah.
Anyways. God, they all suck.
But yeah, okay. All right. Cornel. What's this Cornel story about?
So I just Googled this before the show and it came up. So apparently Cornel West and RFK are feuding over MLK wiretap, so over an issue at least 70 years old. So that's good.
They might as well.
Well, I just thought I bring this up as an excuse for you and me to laugh at Cornel West and RFK and all that.
Is
Do
there
you think
anything
they have a
left to laugh? It's sad now at this point.
I mean, let's just use this to cut away to Biden. I don't know if you remember, I shared you their story. I don't know if I put it in the lineup, but Biden got 69% of the votes in a primary he wasn't really, contending in. So I don't know what Cornel, Marianne Williamson is still continuing to, So I don't know what the fuck Democrats are thinking, but good luck to them all.
Yeah, no, that's funny. Hold on, Oh, I thought I had a Biden thing here. No, I don't. Have Nikki Haley, who's running. She would have a better chance of becoming president, yeah, if she was a Democrat, but
So yeah, I don't know if you heard, but Trump crushed it in New Hampshire. He got 53%. Haley
he's really
is
killing
still
it, man.
continuing. Apparently, some Republicans are considering putting it like changing the law so they can say Trump is the presumptive nominee, so she is forced to drop out, I guess. I don't
But
know.
why would they
Something like that.
care? I mean, as long as she's there, she's just good. At least the game keeps on going.
Well, I guess they don't want the game to keep going. They
Why
feel like
not?
it's damaging to them because
Really?
Trump
How?
keeps I guess Trump attacking. I don't know. I no idea. You're right.
Who do you think he's
No
gonna
idea.
pick for his vice president? Do you think he's gonna pick any of these people, or he's just gonna find someone random, like just like some
I
random?
think no. I think he's. A lot of people say that it's not just me, but Tim Scott seems to be the best case scenario.
Tim Scott, who's that?
Black Republican,
Oh,
Trump supporter. Behind him, he was also a candidate for Republican presidency this
bit of
time, but he
diversity.
dropped out. Yeah, exactly. Gives you a bit of a shield against the racist stuff.
No, yeah, that's a brilliant move.
Definitely better than, I don't know. Who else can you go with?
No, you're absolutely right.
I know.
You're absolutely right. And I mean, Donald Trump is what? How many court cases are there against this guy? It's impressive how many he can handle
Yeah,
without.
millions, I believe, at this point. But yeah, he lost it again. I mean, there was one funny part in this defense because apparently when they said, why did you, I think it's a defamation, right? So yeah, when you said what you said, why did you defame her? Why did you say what you say? He said, well, I mean, I wanted to defend myself, obviously, and all that. But more than that, I really wanted to defend the presidency. It's like, yeah, Trump really thinks we're stupid. Like, yeah, he wanted to defend the presidency. That's why he said he didn't rape that girl. Anyway, so yeah, I don't can they like force you to pay, by the way? Like,
I mean,
seize your assets and
I
shit?
guess, yeah, for sure.
Then he has to pay at some point.
That's
So
for sure.
yeah, Trump and Biden, man, they're both going strong. Do you think anybody can stand against them?
Can anybody stand against them? No.
No.
Not at all. I mean, for sure, it's gonna, like I said last week, it's just gonna come down again to Trump and Biden very easily, and it's gonna be within like it's gonna be
Margin of
very
error.
close. I think so. But I think Trump will win this time.
Yeah.
Yeah, for
Last
sure.
week you were more Biden.
No, I think Trump will win this time because at least he has a bit more enthusiasm behind him. And the whole thing of beating Trump once, that enthusiasm is kind of gone, perhaps. And yeah. But it's going to be very close anyway. But yeah, 55-45 Trump, I say.
So you don't think Biden should drop out like Andrew Yang says?
Oh, Andrew Yang says that?
Yeah.
And then what? So then Trump just wins 100%? Is that No, it makes no difference. Like whoever the Democratic Party at the end puts on their ballot, right? Will do a little bit better, a little bit less than Biden because people will vote for Democratic Party, will vote for Democratic Party. So it just makes no difference. But yeah, but Biden, at least he has I mean, we like to hate him and all this, but he has probably a brand name among older people. I mean, they know him. At least he's been around. At least people who know who Biden is now.
People who vote?
Yeah, exactly. So
no, you're right. I can just say, I mean, yeah.
The Democratic Party strategy, like this time around, is just like a blank paper. They're like, you see, just don't do anything. If nobody just does anything, we can win.
First rule
If
of
you
the
do
Democratic
something,
Party.
you might think you're helping, but you're not. Just don't do anything.
You might
Just the
think this is
minimum.
helping. You're not. Yeah. The first rule of the Democratic Party: you do not do or talk or anything. Just
Stay home, as far as we're concerned. Like, stay offline, stay home. You know, do the bare minimum, and then next year after the election, we'll see. We might have to do some stuff, but also then too.
You're like unbelievably. For the New Hampshire, apparently there was an AI voice of Biden calling the voters, discouraging them from voting.
No.
So it's like quite literally, please, guys, do not vote, do not come out.
Don't even
You're
vote.
not
Just vote in
Nothing.
November, but just don't do anything.
Even in November, really, I'm not sure. Just don't think about it.
Yeah. Oh, so that's what Andrew Yang said. Let me hear his stupid voice.
Over President Joe Biden in the polls. Yang took to X to argue, guys, Joe Biden is going to lose to Trump, and saying that doesn't mean I'm happy about it. Perhaps a nominee other than the historically unpopular 81-year-old incumbent who makes you nervous and is losing in the swing states.
The 2020 Democratic presidential hopeful has endorsed long-shot Democratic candidate Dean Phillips, who got almost 20% of the vote in the New Hampshire primaries. Phillips is vowing.
Yeah, the guy who got 20% will do better than the other guy who won. Among the
guy
same
who
people.
won, while not contending, while actively calling people, discouraging people to vote, God is still 69. It's still beat him by 40%.
And
By
it's
the way,
the
this
same
guy
people
has-
because none of them have power to draw Trump's people. Now, if this guy was some kind of, I don't know, amazing guy who could get all kinds of votes, sure. But if you're just gonna put, I'm guessing, he's just another standard Democrat, I don't know him, then might as well put the more popular standard Democrat. What makes you think like, okay, you're losing in this race. I'm gonna replace you with a slower guy. Okay. But I mean, like, I agree I'm gonna lose. Fine. But I mean, he's not better than me, so. Or I don't know, is this guy some kind of
No, this guy is he's younger. He
Yeah.
won't have a heart attack for sure.
But
within the
apparently nobody
next-
cares about the heart attack. They keep on saying they don't care. People who are close to heart attack age don't discriminate other people who could have a heart attack. Okay, they're probably seeing it as a thing
Well,
of pride. They're like,
come here, heart attack.
Even at his age, he can lead the country. I'll vote for him.
The thing about heart attack and strokes and all that is basically the thing about death is it's really not a matter until it happens.
Yeah.
When it does happen, I think they're gonna have been forced to deal with it.
Yeah, and look, he lasted almost 4 years. Okay.
You think he's gonna last another 6 months?
I don't know.
I agree. To be honest, I don't see what options do they have. I mean,
Man,
sure,
if he passes away, the
definitely
Democrats are
fucked.
scrambling. They're screwed.
I mean, Kamala is completely off her medication, so she's doing whatever she's doing.
Okay,
That
Biden. Okay,
psycho
right
Pete
now, what
Buttigieg-
do you think, though? Honestly, you're a Democrat. You're
I'm
in
not
the
a Democrat.
Democratic
Fuck you.
Party. No, sorry. Let's say hypothetically, you're in the
okay.
Democratic leadership. Biden passes away. What would be your recommendation? What would be your suggestion? Who would you go? Would you go for Kamala? Be like, let's just, maybe this will work. She was the vice president and she was associate Biden. Let's just go with her. Or would you try to find somebody else who has had no success at that level? I mean, not that she has had, but would you pick the California guy? Would you be like, fuck it, let's just go for him. He's the most famous one, at least.
Gavin?
Yeah.
No, he's too. I would go. I think Kamala is better, probably, than Gavin, but Kamala, Pete, or Gavin.
Oh, I forgot to
depending on
say, you can also put an animal. I forgot to say, so you can just like put forward a cat or something. I forgot to. I forgot about that.
I go for
Since it's
Biden's
late
dog.
in the race.
If Biden's dog is still alive, I take that.
But yeah,
I
no, you'd go
to be
with
honest,
Kamala.
man, you know, if I was genuinely in like any position of power, I would go with Kamala probably because she's the safest and stupidest of them, so she's more controllable. Seems less ambitious than
Yeah.
Gavin
And whatever,
Newsom.
and
And you're
you're gonna
right,
lose anyway.
we are
So,
overthinking.
so like
I didn't think about that. But no, even besides that, no, we are overthinking it. Like most people don't even pay attention to this shit. So
yeah.
it's fine. Kamala is fine.
Yeah. I mean, if she's on the ballot, she's on the ballot, and the primaries would
She's
be.
gonna get 1% difference,
But,
maybe her
but
name.
wait, I have a question actually. I have a question though. Now that the primaries have actually started, if Biden passed away now, would she have to do primaries? Because that she could
His
lose.
ghost still
So
has
actually
to be
there
president.
is
His ghost still has to be.
so
Sorry.
even the minimum level of democracy that goes down could screw her over. I mean, she could lose the primaries. Like if they, let's say Biden passes away tomorrow, okay?
Yeah.
Kamala will be able to just be president for the end of her term. But I think she would be. I think the public
she has to do
force would
primaries.
be enough to force them to run her as in primary, and she would potentially lose to whoever Andrew Yang is suggesting. I mean, she did horribly bad
Dean
last
Phillips?
time.
Yeah, but Dean Phillips, man, he's just such a I don't know.
But she did really bad last time, right? It's not like it went well for her last
No,
time.
yeah, she did terribly. Oh yeah. No, you're right. That would be the worst case scenario for Kamala would be Biden now.
Yeah, no, Biden can't die now. Now that he's come so far, buddy, give us another year.
Another month. Okay, we need just let the primaries finish. Then we can focus. Yeah.
They should run Andrew Yang. I mean, he did go visit every single factory in all of the US and saw that automation is taking away people's jobs. So I think I hope you haven't forgotten about his entire worldview and policy, everything. He married his wife based on that tour of factories that he did at some point.
I am sad to say I had forgotten about that too. But
he saw it himself with his own eyes.
I mean,
and then he made a book on it, a movie on it, ran as president, and his football team named after that. He had like everything. Can buy mugs, cups, everything.
Using mostly AI to edit the movie.
That's the controversy.
That's the taking.
He made a lot out of that one visit, huh?
Yeah. Out of that one word, automation.
Yeah.
He's a smart guy. Like first automation and then UBI. He even reduced it from one word to an acronym. He's just like, UBI, give me money. UBI, give me money. He couldn't win New York, so I doubt they're gonna try the whole of US.
My God, you remember when he ran for mayor or something?
Yeah, mayor of New York. Yeah, he lost to a clown who's right now under investigation for having like ties with Turkish government or something.
Jesus Christ.
But
yeah, and then Nikki Haley.
Good to know his opinion.
Nikki Haley's there. I don't remember how much we touched on this, but they're not gonna pick her for vice president.
So just read the subtitle for that headline.
Nikki Haley should go for broke. That's the headline. Then the subheadline is, of course, it's too early to drop out. A veteran GOP speechwriter has advice on challenging Trump.
So you disagree?
I do agree that it's too early for her to drop out because it just doesn't look good for the whole movie and like, you know, the production of like the Republican what's called primaries.
Republican TV show.
But yeah, primary TV show, but yeah, challenging Trump. I mean, they should have just, you know what? Yeah, maybe it should, they should make like a Vivek and her, like, you know, when you have like a TV show and then there's like a spin-off.
Oh, they should have a spin-off?
Yeah, like, you know, 3-4 months, just Vivek and her. I don't know what. They'll just be debating. Just like I don't know, some kind of talk show where they talk back to each other. It's like a whole premise.
That
They
would be
like
fun,
eat
yeah.
hot wings and answer questions or something.
That's yeah. I mean, Nikki Haley, yeah, I feel like Nikki Haley, I gotta say, she's very boring, man. I don't know.
That's for sure.
They
Oh,
should do
my
something
question for
behind the
you.
camera.
Will Vivek be relevant in 2 years or no? Or in 4 years?
Oh yeah, for sure. Because because we live in hell.
But what can he do though? He can't just be
like,
campaigning
lizards
now.
like
Do you
that.
think he needs a job? Do you think like in the
No.
sense that like Trump needs to give him a job, or in that
to be
sense?
honest,
I
if
meant
I
not
were, I
like
don't
for money. I meant like,
I
put
know,
him
I
in
know.
a political position.
If I were him, I would definitely avoid any real job. But if there are any ceremonial jobs where you can just, show up,
Yeah, they need to give him some kind of job, I think.
he
Or
needs.
maybe
But
not,
this
because
is a
he can't just
guy.
be campaigning. He can't be hating on Trump.
Oh,
And if
no,
Trump's in the
no.
office,
He
like, what is he
endorsed
gonna
Trump now.
do? Yeah, he's
Well,
endorsed Trump.
he's the endorser Trump now. He's gone full on attack dog mode on Nikki Haley. But that's the thing. He's one of those assholes who needs somebody to a scapegoat, somebody to attack. So whatever job or whatever position he'll have, he will need to stay in this attack mode, I think. Otherwise, the whole house of cards falls apart.
Yeah, no, that's true.
So education, that's perfect for him. Huh? Every week go to a different state. Oh, what woke shit do you have?
I don't think you could do that though. Oh yeah, could you be that? I mean, there was the other lady who was like education. She wanted to replace the education
This is a
system with her
man.
own schools. You remember that? Like, what was her name?
Oh, yeah.
The billionaire lady.
No, that's Betsy DeVos.
Yeah.
I mean, he wants to do the same. Yeah, they all want to. But I'm pretty sure he can sustain. Like, this is a man who on TV said, and many people believe like that. I mean, I guess that part is many people believe part is true, but many people believe that the racism in America is like going reversed, like like as in white people are. So I mean, he can pull off anything at this moment. I don't know. What do you think he can come out of this attack dog mode? I don't think so. I don't.
Yeah, no, I mean, you can do it. It's just you have to be careful to not become tiring or like, just it's a long time, 4 years. Unless there's something juicy that you can just keep on hitting on. I don't know.
What, you're gonna talk about taxes? That's crazy.
Yeah. It's a bit too much to be in campaign mode for that long because I'm guessing he wants to run for president already next one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the thing. That's
Maybe fake an illness so you have a reason to like stay at home for 2-3 years.
That's but then you might not stay relevant.
Yeah, then you might seem weak. No, yeah. Also.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's not easy. I don't know what DeSantis, I don't know. Did DeSantis take such a big hit that even without Trump, he has no hope in the next election? Or maybe the damage isn't that bad, and if there's no Trump in the race, he can try again next time. This election is really not fun. I want them to skip. I really feel like, they're giving you like a shitty entree while you're waiting for like the real good meal or something. I don't know how to say it. Yeah.
It's like a censored rerun of a movie. It's like, but all the good bits are cut out or something.
Let's just go to the next episode. The next one should be more fun.
Exactly. But I would say, I mean, 4 years is a long time. But at the same rate, I think, Ron DeSantis is pretty much doomed to oblivion or whatever. He seems to be completely destroyed whatever reputation seems
or I just thought of this, unless something like happens related to Florida or not to related to Florida, like a COVID or something, and he can again somehow rejuvenates more right-wing support somehow. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah, maybe. I mean, he seems to be
There's other big hot topic, because I think just banning books and all these kind of things, I guess
But
he
the-
can't go back to the same playbook.
But don't you think, like, if it's about that type of issues, even again, 4 years is a long time. But even if it's about that type of issues, Vivek seems to be doing a much better job at galvanizing people than.
Yeah, but Vivek,
Although
I would
Ron
still, I
DeSantis
would
got
have
more
been
votes.
curious, man. I mean, listen, Vivek online, yes. Vivek offline, I think
you're
he's
right.
still less popular. I mean, we saw it. I mean,
In the votes,
at
yeah.
the end, DeSantis finished second and he finished fourth. Let's forget about first, like we said. It's like it's a weird race. We don't care about who finished first. And focus between sixth and eighth. Who
Fourth and
finished?
seventh.
That's really where the interesting stuff happened, okay? Who
So
finished
number one
second
was
to last? Okay, yeah, no, that's my guy. Let me tell you something about him. He has a bright
his
future.
journey. His journey is interesting.
His journey is
From nowhere to nothing. It's amazing. It's unbelievable. It's like we need to hear this. Number one is the predestined golden child. So that's the one that number one. Number 2 to 6 are zombies, which are boring. So let's not talk about them. 7 to 9. That's the interesting.
That's the sweet
The
spot.
interesting
Let's look at
range.
this. But yeah, so honestly, they should forget about this election and just run some mini tournaments between some of these other guys, just to see who's put Kamala in there versus I don't know.
I'm not saying bring back the whole, Roman style gladiatorial stuff, fight animals and shit. But like something like modern, some of these game shows I see on TV where people jump on like,
True.
like sort of pillows in swimming pools or something, and then somebody
Oh,
drops in
those are
water
hard.
and yeah, I know. But imagine Biden
Yeah.
or Trump like doing an old man version of that. Do
Oh,
something like
man,
that.
I hope they
Just-
give us at least one Trump and Biden debate, though.
Please, come on. Yeah, I mean,
No,
it
I
won't
would
be
go
even a
on strike.
debate.
I
It
would
be
I would
Trump
protest.
roasting.
I mean, I don't care what it is.
I will not vote as a non-US citizen. I will not vote.
How many do they usually do of those? 2 or 4?
3, I thought was there. I don't know now. that
Man,
you
this
said
time they're gonna somehow weasel their way into
3.
just one.
Yeah, probably, or even not
And
that.
Biden's gonna call in sick
because
every
of
time for a
fashion.
debate. Calling in sick. I'm sorry, I can't. Here's my doctor.
Biden
No.
will call in sick, but I swear to God, Trump will also call in and dog ate my notes, so I can't. Like something really like childish. And my my homework is in a locked door, and
I don't have the
locksmith
key.
is coming.
Yeah.
My mom said like she's gonna call the locksmith. She promised. Okay. Yeah, they're not gonna do
No,
it.
I
They're not
swear.
gonna.
Yeah,
But to
because I
be
mean, you
fair,
can't
though,
pump that much into Biden. I mean,
yeah,
it's
too
kind
much,
of
too much of
dangerous.
drugs in available.
He can do
We were
one
using some
debate
nitrogen.
every 2 months. So
There is somebody behind just
God.
just inflating him quickly. As soon as he's I don't know. But I mean, just as I don't know if that makes you any happier, but I remember Trump Biden was not half as funny as Trump Hillary. Trump Hillary was just
yeah.
next level. That was so good.
And listen, in
That
4
was the
years,
best.
man, Trump can run again in 4 years, right?
No. Oh, yes, he can, because he was non-consecutive. Yes, he can. So, yes, but then we have to wait 4 more. I think this is a good system. 4 years, then loses again, then another 4
Yeah.
years, then lose. This is like, because when he's not even president, you feel like he's the president of our hearts. So, it's like, this is good. He keeps you always on edge. Whoever is in White House is always.
And okay. All right. Let's come back and get a couple other topics here. Alrighty, Sam. Let's continue the show. Do you want to watch the Glenn thing or go on to some of the other stories first?
Do you want to know? Let's watch the Glenn thing, I guess, finish on the
It's a
American
short one, yeah.
politics. Yeah.
Is Glenn debating some clowns about what? January 6th, I guess?
Yeah, it's your favorite topic, January. Coup d'etat.
Oh yeah, they get into coup d'etat
the coup
argument.
d'etat, the coup d'etat argument,
That's
which
funny.
is, I just like to say, in my opinion, I don't know about you, but I actually don't think it was a coup d'etat for sure.
Bro, it was a protest at like a public thing that like there was some what's it called that went on.
wrong.
No, not something went wrong. I mean, yeah, it was a protest slash break-in and vandalism.
Attacking.
No, it was vandalism and all that.
Yeah,
definitely.
exactly.
But it wasn't a coup.
Exactly. No, but Trump was telling some people that if they don't certify those votes, maybe there will be somebody who will listen. I don't.
Yeah,
but,
that's the reason I don't take it too seriously, because they blow it out of proportion in such a ridiculous way.
That's the thing. That's exactly. Otherwise, I do think if a country is a proper country, if somebody vandalizes the parliament or the legislature of that country, they should be hanged from their balls.
Okay, not hanged, but to be arrested and all that, which they did. Okay, from their balls, okay. As long as only men. No, but
one ball, okay. Just
but yeah.
one.
I mean, not even the military. Who even responded? Like the local police were enough to respond. Like, how did they stop it? Like a few undercover FBI agents,
it seems
local police.
Half of the people
just went home. They're like, okay.
But I have to go home now.
I have to go. Dinner is always at 7 to put the kids to sleep, shower,
First of all, half of the people who broke in were FBI agents themselves, it seems. So it's just half of them are FBI agents. The other half are basically the people who, like, they are the gullible type that, oh, let's go in here, let's go, like, they don't think, they just did this because some people told them. But it's still not that, again, I don't understand the other side as well, that you're prosecuting these poor protesters. And it's like they broke into the governmental building, like they're lucky they're not like shot dead immediately. Like, it's just everybody is just such a crybaby, I feel, in this one.
Yeah, no. Yeah. So let's see what the I mean, Glenn is too fun. I mean, Glenn, at least he's true to his thing, which is he'll point out hypocrisy. So before he was all after the Democrats and all that, and now he's after the Republicans because they're inconsistent, or right-wingers are inconsistent in the position they've taken towards Israel-Palestine and freedom of speech.
Oh, these days I haven't seen too much, but
no, that's his thing.
On that,
But yeah,
so they're so embarrassed about the fact that their hypocrisy is being made public. I'm sure they're gonna change their opinions.
100%.
I mean,
but here, they're debating January 6th and Destiny. Jesus Christ. Did you hear, by the way, Destiny didn't turn down, but he was supposed to debate Norman Finkelstein. And
but
he didn't show up, and like 5 hours later he messaged, I can't do it and all this.
I heard about that. 5 hours after he didn't show up. Wow, what a gentleman.
It was not a coup. Here he is justifying that case.
If you look at how other coups are perpetrated, and I think a lot of this is that if you're an American and you have this very soft history, you don't know what a coup is, you think that like what CNN tells you a coup is a coup. Usually the way coups work is the leader of the country or whoever is in charge of the military orders the military to seize control of the levers of power. Trump was the commander-in-chief on January 6th. The military was duty-bound to obey his orders. They had a right to disobey if they were illegal, but if this were a coup, why didn't Trump order the military to seize control of the power and turn over the election process to him? Why didn't he order the armed factions that form the law enforcement part of the military and the executive branch that serve under his command to do that as well? That's what happens in a coup. That didn't happen here because Trump wasn't trying to perpetrate a coup.
Later in the panel, Greenwald got into an argument.
Coups don't also have lunch hour, and apparently they were all off from 1 to 2. They went to eat, and then they came back.
I mean, exactly. These people really don't.
He has a good point. Yeah. Like none of the main actors of a coup were involved. However,
none of like.
The main stakeholders stayed home.
Open your Oxford Dictionary at home. Oh, do it. Just please. No, it's just, and then it's so funny because he keeps saying that, and then Brianna goes on to say that, you know, he met with this guy and he told this guy and they lied to this. Again, not a coup, like military not involved. Okay, if force is not involved, please don't. Anyway.
With with liberal streamer Destiny, let's take a look.
If you want to talk about applying the same standard, would you have been okay in the year 2000 if Gore refused to certify the vote because he didn't like what was happening in Florida?
A lot of Democrats did
Can
want
you
him to
answer
do
that
that.
question?
I love Glenn. He's like, would you be okay? A lot of Democrats.
Not
Glenn, answer the question.
Yeah, and I would have actually. Yes, a lot of Democrats were angry about that.
I'm not asking if a lot of I'm asking you would be okay personally if he refused to certify the vote.
I think there were two.
You won't answer the question. In 2016, would you have been okay if Biden?
Because if you really believe that an election is stolen, as the Democrats claim they did, then it is kind of odd to say we're just going to concede that and allow George Bush to march into power, even though we believe that he actually stole the election.
Yes,
that is kind of an odd way to go about your.
It's not all that all. We live in a democracy.
Ed and Brian Krassenstein attempted to deflect comparisons between the Black Lives Matter riots and the attack on the Capitol. Let's watch.
I don't think that Black Lives Matter was an insurrection. I do think 1992 riots in LA was an insurrection.
I love Brianna. She makes such funny points. She's like, yeah, the riot in one city where, there were insurrection. Yeah, definitely. I mean, jeez. Oh, let's see. Alex Jones comes in. What he says. Oh, he doesn't agree with that. He's actually right here.
George
Black Matter Black. That made it not an insurrection. What did it lack?
So it was a protest, and the violence was when the police clashed with the protesters. The violence was not against the government in order to stop the government from doing something.
There weren't Antifa and anarchist groups there that explicitly say they were using violence to overthrow the government. That didn't happen.
They were firebombing federal courthouses. God, that's not true.
They were the bombs on the courthouses. There's nobody. It was at nighttime. There's nobody in there. They were not obstructing anything.
Firefighters got to fight it. Arson's a serious crime.
It's a fun gathering. Surprised we didn't get our invite. So sad.
Well, I've had this exact debate with Glenn Greenwald on my show, who I respect a great deal, but I do think he's playing fast and loose with definitions. Not every coup is a military coup. There is definitionally something called a soft coup, which is much closer to what's being described here.
Well, that's a soft coup, and this was not anywhere near a soft coup.
Sorry, sir. We didn't look at Oxford Dictionary, but we didn't look at the examples. You know, they put, like, sometimes it's a soft coup, sometimes it's a hardcore
And it
coup.
was nothing near a soft coup either. I mean, it was further even from a soft coup, probably. I mean, soft coup probably requires insider government people, right?
In a soft coup, you see the panties, but you don't see the actual You don't see the actual violence being committed. Okay, you see people trying to think about the coup, but they're not.
But that's about it.
They're rubbing against the coup. That's what's happening in a soft.
But yeah.
As opposed to what we have in Iran, which is a hardcore coup, where you see everything.
Okay, that's that. And just to wrap up on America a little bit. Oh, I put this. Is this any fun to watch any part? Or...
No.
No,
That
just
was
leave it.
more of a personal.
Yeah, I didn't actually end up seeing it, so.
No, I
check it
didn't
out
even. I
after
just
he
wanted
had
to.
RFK.
I sent you a picture. I just wanted you to compare it with these two. And then that picture and these two. Because it's so funny. Theo Von asking him, and he's like acting as if he's a wise man. Like, oh, I know, I answered. It's just
too funny. Yeah. Okay, so let's go to this story. So what happened here?
So they said that Israel needs to do everything it can not to commit genocide, but we don't know about ceasefire. That's up to Israel to decide for itself. So they basically said, said that the court is, like South Africa won the fact that the court decided that it is the right court for the case to be adjudicated in, but it's going to take years for the actual genocide case to be
Oh, really? Wow.
educate, decided. But now, for now, they decided to tell Israel, you're a.
I see.
Yeah. So that's that. Israel announced they're gonna stop flying to South Africa. So that's
Oh, really?
one of the ramifications, it seems. Do you think that, I don't know how, do you think that's
But
an
I'm actually
effective
surprised
sanction?
that South Africa did this, though. I wouldn't have thought.
I guess they have apparently there was, I don't know, I've heard this on, I think Chapo or something, that there is also a bit of a bitter feeling regarding the fact that Israelis were involved in training the apartheid regime in their tactics and all that, like the policing
Interesting.
before that. So maybe there is a bit of
But
bad
there's
blood
still
there.
also, but yeah, but I mean, it's not like, yeah. But there are
Yeah,
all
I am
kinds of
surprised
people
too.
in the South African government, I guess, now too. So it's not like all people care to the same extent about
Well,
that.
it's pretty much a one
Really?
party system, really. Yeah, pretty much. So like a corrupt one party. Yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't say it's a very highly, dynamic.
Not highly, but I thought there'd be like a couple of fractions, so it
Not
wouldn't have led
not
to
even.
this.
I mean, I wouldn't think so.
Let me
But
see.
at any rate, I would have agreed with you though, because South Africa is still to this day a huge ally of US. So I would have agreed with you for sure though, in terms of, I was surprised too when they brought it on, but maybe that's just because we are ignorant about their history or something.
Perhaps. I'm glad that you agree with me though. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Oh, and is this a news story? Oh yeah, 19 hours ago. Staffers turn on Biden.
And there is also, there is reportage that there might be a tentative deal coming, releasing all the hostages for a 3-month, 2-month ceasefire or something. Yeah. So that's
yeah. I think now it will happen because I think it's been going on for much longer than usual now. So usually, like they reach a ceasefire over with Gaza in a week or two, and now it's been like 2 months with this one. It's much bigger. So yeah, I think in the next month they'll reach a ceasefire. That'll be my guess by the end of February.
I hope so. I have no idea, but
early March, depending on long weekends or if things like this happen.
Depending on
disrupt workflow.
One of them, if they don't have any classes that are at the same time, so they can attend the negotiation. Yeah, I mean, you're probably right, but I would add that I don't see why would Hamas give up all the hostages. I guess it's probably they're gonna be released in stages, but I would keep some of them at the end. I don't know. I find it a bit hard to believe releasing all the hostages. But yeah, I mean, who knows? Who knows? Do you think this, I don't know, this court ruling is gonna make them embarrassed enough to do anything special?
No, this is nothing. I mean, this wasn't even probably top 3 priority of the day that it happened for them. Let alone.
Nah, yeah.
Low level of concern. And especially if it's something that this was it, I don't know, and then it's gonna linger on forever, then you can chill.
What do you mean linger on for the court ruling?
This decision that they came with now, or are we gonna hear more rulings or more news in the coming weeks or months, or is the next time we'll hear from it in 2 years?
Yeah, I think we're gonna hear a lot of complaining about the fact that the Israeli government is not complying with the provisions that they set out, but I doubt after a couple of weeks there's going to be much interest in continuing this nonsense. So there might be a couple of countries that they can travel to because a local court sort of convicts them often. Oh, you don't think that's gonna play a role?
I said, no, I mean, that would be a relatively big, depends which countries, but that would be a little bit of a blow to them.
Allow...
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
I'm sure they are so.
No, exactly. It's not like France is not going to allow them or something.
But on a more perhaps significant part has been the trade on the Bab al-Mandab sort of bubble map that a straight. I don't know what I think it's a strait. I'm not sure. Where Houthis have been sort of meddling with international trade. That's a bit of a serious, I suppose. That's a more of a serious thing. And today it seemed that again they attacked the ship. There was a fire, but then Americans apparently hit some, I guess, locations in Yemen. I don't know what they hit in Yemen at this point, but good luck to them. We hit Yemen, okay? Don't ask where, when, or how, but we hit Yemen. So that happened. Maybe they hit the boats, and yeah, I have no idea. But yeah, so that's going on. And I don't know if you heard. I sent you the story that it was the breaking point. See,
no.
I love the fact that for a long time they just kept saying, yeah, 2 Navy SEALs went missing, and people kept saying, what do you mean they went missing? Well, they went missing in the middle of operations against Houthis. It's like, what are you talking about? It's like saying, well, 6 million Jews went missing. When? In 1940s. Where? In Europe. What do you mean? Like they went missing. Okay, stop. What do you mean they went missing? Like it was in the middle of a military operation. So now finally they've said they don't expect to recover them alive. I don't know. What do you think when they say they're missing? That means they were accidentally killed or something? I don't know.
I guess it means that they don't have necessary proof or evidence that they've been killed or kidnapped or whatever. But
I guess, yeah. But it was so weird. It was like they kept saying they're missing. They're not children. What do you mean?
I know what you mean.
It's like they don't need adult supervision. So yeah. So that was that. And yeah, that was, I think that's about.
Well, we have a UK story left. That's it, really. Oh no, sorry,
that was
UK reserve.
Yemen.
Yeah.
Yeah, UK reserves the right to whenever UK, Iran, or America.
Oh, Iran. Sorry, we forgot. We have the last thing.
Oh yeah, we're gonna do that. But whenever Iran, US, or UK can't do anything, they say we reserve the right to respond. When? Well, we're not gonna tell you ever. Oh yeah, this one was a funny one. I mean, it was interesting. Well, Rouhani, there is the Khobregan Intikhabat, sort of, Khobregan election going on. So this is like the Iranian Supreme Court of kind, or Senate and Supreme Court, Senate/Supreme Court. They choose the next Supreme Leader, and they are supposed to hold the Supreme Leader to account and all that, right? It's a very few, it's an 80-member council. And Rouhani, the former president, got nominated himself, and he was rejected. He was disqualified. So they said he can't run for that because I guess he's not khobre enough. He's not, he's not good enough, basically. But it's so funny because I mean, it's unbelievable, man. It's just the level of disrespect they're showing to this plan. It's just at this point, come on, like you don't have to do this. Like the whole like Khobregan parliament is pretty much, it's like useless. So just let him in. Like it's okay. Yes. Nobody cares.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, there is rumors. They also said that if he complains too much, they're gonna share his house location with ISIS. So
what? What the fuck? That's not cool. I'll be like, okay, no, okay. That's not
okay,
cool.
Guys, you're going too far. Okay, I'm gonna come to your house and share on WhatsApp your exact house location with Taliban. All right, if you continue to protest, I've never seen this level of disrespect to him.
Yeah, that's pushing it.
Turn of history is like that. That's the turn.
But yeah, anyways, that's it. I think went everything. Just to wrap up the show, I'll just see what the Vanguard boys have been up to.
Yeah, while you check that out, tell me, what do you think is the modern sort of successor to Entourage? What should a young man in this day and age look up to, really, as
Entourage?
Well, again, watch Entourage again.
Yeah, just like a more modern Entourage. That's it.
What I mean, there is no. You don't think there is any TV show right now that is in the same spirit?
I barely watch anything these days like that, so I wouldn't know.
Point.
I don't know what the kids are watching nowadays. I'm sure there is. I'm sure there
I
is.
guess Andrew Tate is kind of like real life, no? Like
No, but there are shows like that too. I mean, you just change a couple of things that are in Entourage and you make it more relevant to today. Right? And then there's that, but then
I've
yeah,
never
there's
seen a show as vacuous as Entourage.
come
I'm
on.
gonna say it's up there, really.
You know, I think about it, it's kind of like what's it called? Is like it. Succession. Succession is just the billionaire version of like old billionaire version of Entourage.
You are that's like
No, no, that show is really not a
I'm
good show. The
sorry.
more I think
It's
about
the
it, there's
greatest show.
nothing. No, it's
You
an
didn't
above
finish it,
average
first of all.
show. I did,
No.
100%.
Oh, you
And I
finished?
watched episode full.
Oh,
Yeah, it's an
yeah,
above
you're right.
average show. That's for sure. I'm not saying it's like one of those shitty shows, but above average, and that's it. And I think it didn't do itself any favors. Too few characters, just limited storylines, repetitive. Yeah, I'm telling you. Didn't have the richness of like a show like Sopranos, you know? Every season adding in one or two amazing characters, spicing things up.
First of all, you do this typical thing where you bring in you don't have to bring in Sopranos because that's a good show on its own, not as good as Succession, obviously, but you know, a good show nonetheless. Succession is just better writing, deeper characters, more realistic.
No, it's decent, but it's not. No.
Yes, I'm sorry, but that ending, it's historically relevant. I mean, Sopranos, you could say to an extent too, but it's globally relatable, unlike Sopranos. Which
Sopranos relatable on a human to human level. That's what you haven't seen it properly. That's the thing. You haven't watched it properly.
I have seen it enough, and that dress code puts me off. Their dress code puts me off.
Oh, that reminds me, I have to get.
I say that while I am wearing a tank top, so
that's okay.
Yeah,
but yeah, the Vanguard boys though not up to any fun whatsoever.
What is going on? Kylie's thing doing with Wash. That's fun.
But you know, I had a genuine question. You know, like, I mean, YouTube is just when it comes to political video, it just demonetizes everything. I mean, I wonder if the Vanguard boys are getting the same thing, or if like even bigger channels like what's called Majority Report, or maybe they're fighting them back because they're kind of bullshit, or maybe something. But
getting the same one.
Just like getting every money's like every video, is demonetized anyway.
I think, yeah, I would assume, but
I can't remember the last time one of our videos was, honestly. Before, it didn't used to be like that. Not that anything came from it, but before it didn't used to be like that. Now it's just like standard.
How recently has this, like, since when you
months, forever.
Oh, okay. I mean, to be fair, I think they're getting the same issue probably, but it's just I think they live off of their Patreon and
but maybe they fight some back and reverse it easily.
But
also Majority Report, for instance, plays Joe Rogan. I don't know how they get. I mean, anytime we've had a Joe Rogan clip, we got copyrighted. You can't even pay, but that's not even an option. That's not a thing, though.
If your video is demonetized, can you still get copyrighted?
It's totally different. Demonetized is not a thing. It's not an issue. They're just saying, whatever, you can't run ads that get you money on this. We won't run ads, and if we do, they could still run some. It's just much less. But sometimes when it's like a copyright proper, like when it's a copyright strike, like that part of the video they won't show. You can't publish with that.
No, okay, but
so I don't know how they play.
Video and our video, there is no money. Like basically, we
yeah, that's what I'm saying. They don't care about that. You might be demonetized, or you might not even be demonetized. Just that clip, it won't show that part. Like YouTube will censor it.
Joe Rogan won't show that part.
It won't show. Yeah, it won't show Joe Rogan in our video.
I see. No, I thought, okay, all right, that's
You get what I mean?
interesting. All right, so I guess
No, it
majority
has
of world
nothing
is
to do with.
paying for those, yeah.
Or
It's
they
probably
fight it back, or they send a message back or something, and then a real human
yeah,
has
they
to
say
see
it's
that
like
they're doing commentary over it, and it's 2 minutes, and like he reverses it or something. And Majority Report is a big-ish channel. I'm surprised they've kind of maintained their semi-relevance in terms of like at least having a channel going.
yeah, I mean, they haven't fallen as far as TYT has, but they have never,
But
I
TYT
guess,
probably
reached
does
as
better
high.
views every now and then, that's for sure, though.
Oh
But
yeah, for sure, yeah. I mean, they were on Peacock and shit. It is like they never managed to get. It doesn't seem to. They never even managed to get much of all that.
I mean, if YouTube, if your videos don't get demonetized, YouTube is not like Twitter or something where like they don't pay you any money. YouTube actually pays you money, so you can actually make money of YouTube videos. Did you hear the whole Mr. Beast controversy, or with Elon Musk?
No, oh, the X videos thing
Yeah,
he posted.
Exactly. So Elon Musk wanted Mr. Beast to post his videos, who's like one of the most famous, biggest YouTube channels ever out there. And he's like, no, I won't post because I can't make money on yours.
Yeah.
And
then he apparently posted a video that was like 8 weeks old on
yeah.
YouTube on
And
X,
Musk
and
like
then Elon and
retweeted
everybody is,
it.
thank you. Exclusive
Why is
show
he making
with
himself look
mystery.
so pathetic, Elon Musk?
I mean,
And
I
he
guess because he can. It's not like he needs to look any better. It's like he's rich enough. So I guess he's gonna be his true self. There is nothing
Such
to
a
lose.
waste of time. If he's a real person, he'll admit that this has been one of the biggest wastes of time possible. The whole thing is doing with Twitter.
I mean, okay, I thought you were gonna say his whole life, but okay.
No, because
Not
relatively speaking, the Twitter part
Oh,
is
you
just
like Tesla? I forgot. You
not that I
love Tesla.
like. No, not at all. I'm just saying the Twitter part was just so silly.
It was very silly. It did feel like he ruined the toy for some people he didn't like, basically. Not that to be honest, I'm glad he did it though. Fuck those people. I just remembered who those people were and fuck
But
them.
there aren't even those people. And I've yet to see a human being in real life. Yeah, exactly. It's like a professional tool.
They're angry now. They're all like, oh, it's not as good as it used to be. And you're like, yeah, it's not, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like 5 people. I've yet to
I know,
see one
it's
in
just-
real life. I've yet using Twitter.
They could be. Do you think they could be paid actors or something?
Yeah,
It could be plans. I mean, like in real life, there has never been a Twitter user. Like, it's just
seriously, since like 2010, someone has not been spotted actually.
the last actual individual spotted tweeting was Trump before his presidency. That was the last verifiable human tweet.
That would be a good conspiracy to spread around.
I'm pretty sure it's already out there.
Yeah.
Like, if we've thought of it.
Think about it. Have you ever seen anybody tweet?
Yeah, think about it. Have you ever seen anybody tweet while their mouth moves? What does that do? Mr. Beast, what kind of videos does he do? Like,
Just like he's not a prankster. He doesn't do pranks. He just has challenges. So he like gets people to come and do challenges. Like apparently he became famous by sitting in front of a webcam or camera and counting until 1 million.
Okay. Yeah, that's all right.
Are you willing to do that, Sam?
I mean, good point. Very good point. Very good point. It's like you make
Count
fun of
until
something
1,000.
and
Go.
immediately somebody's like, yeah, count up to 10. No, I can't. Sorry.
So yeah, I mean, his channel is full of that.
He's so popular.
And he once actually gave a YouTube tip that was pretty interesting. Others, I've never heard others really say that, sorry. But you can't do it with everything, which is, oh my God, look at these views. But hold on.
He looks like a real life chipmunk.
Translates his videos to other languages, just a simple like audio dub. And then so he makes money in all these other languages. Have you ever heard
Oh
somebody
my
else do
God.
this, or even say he offers this tip all the time? I mean, it's not a secret.
I know. I mean, I never heard somebody. I thought Google does it automatically, to be honest,
No,
for
no,
you.
he
I
puts a
am
voice.
always.
Google does not put a voice
Oh,
automatic.
oh, he puts his own.
No, his
ha-
channel exists in different languages where,
Okay, but like
and
his
then they've
own
gone like, no,
voice is
automatic.
dubbed,
Yeah,
but with the AI or Google thingy,
yeah,
not with his own
yeah.
voice. You've seen AI or like a dub person speak on top
But
of
nobody like
somebody
does
on
that. Like
YouTube?
Joe Rogan doesn't
But I don't.
himself go out there and
I
have
don't
like a
think
French
so.
YouTube
That's the thing.
channel and German YouTube
May
channel. You see what I mean?
Well, yeah, exactly. I've seen like TED, institutions have different channels, but then that's like a completely, yeah, that's interesting. I never,
But man,
does
look
he
at these
post,
views. Jesus motherfucking
yeah, man,
Christ.
kids. We should have, do you have any idea for a kid show or something? They are like money sucking machines from the parents, and then like a opposite of that with the school and the shops. They're so good. There's so much money to be made.
Man.
It's
But yeah,
unbelievable.
but
He
he's,
should have.
yeah.
Yeah.
And apparently his
Oh, that's the
videos.
controversial one, the one blind one. Do you
Oh,
know
we
about
haven't
that?
seen,
The
no.
blind one. He paid for a lot of people to get their cataracts, I think, fixed. And then like people are like, what is this? Is this like, it's modern day freak show. Like you pay people and then you record it for YouTube and blah, blah, blah. That,
Yeah, man, this whole thing.
I don't
You
know.
rescued 100 puppies.
Do you think he's a dick? Do you think he copyrights his stuff?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, definitely.
I mean, yeah, all the channels are done. I think they're done almost automatically. I think YouTube sees if you're not
I
a
guess,
news
yeah, it's probably
channel.
a tick or
Yeah.
something. You put a tick and it claims all the.
But yeah.
We talked about that. Yeah, we talked about the PBD. Basim Youssef.
Yeah, I know. That was last week. Yep.
Man, another day Shark Tank was on TV, and every time Shark Tank comes on, I just immediately think of you now. It's just like immediate.
I hope you're not disrespecting Shark Tank.
I mean, I don't know. I'm not respecting it either,
Joking.
but
No. But okay, all right. Let's wrap this up. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe, and we'll see you in our next video. Thank you.